Alright, I've got a question for you guys out there. How is your business doing? And I think there's a simple way to answer this question. If you have a regular store or they're called a brick and mortar business, one way to answer that question is, are you making money? Are people coming into your place of business? Are they buying? Are they staying? Coming back? You know, those kinds of things. Are you turning a profit? Well, for me, I like to look at my online businesses, my websites, because creating a website and a blog is very easy these days. So to answer the question, how is your business doing, you first have to make a website and install something that I'm about to show you. And that something is Google Analytics. So I've got some Google Analytics charts here. And actually, I'm not going to get to this one yet. Let's start with this one. I've got a few websites here, one of which I'm doing with my twin brother, but the other three are my own. This first one here is called DigitalRuby.com. It's a website for our mobile games business. And I just started it January 15th. No visits. 4 visits. So let me explain what you're seeing here. Those of you familiar with Google Analytics, this is going to be nothing new. But for those of us who have been trying to do a business for a few years and haven't had much luck, I think this will be a nice retrospective. There's 2 key indicators here in Google Analytics when you're looking at a website. First, overview, and then these 2 things. Bounce rate, average time on site. I don't look at much else except these 2 metrics. And I don't look at much else because often I'm terrible with these 2 metrics. Bounce rate is when someone visits your website, do they leave after the first page? If they do, that's a bounce. And the bounce rate is out of how many total visitors, how many of them left after the first page. That means they probably saw your site and said, meh, I don't need this. It's like going into a store and saying, I don't need to get anything. Next is average time on the site. How long does a visitor stay on the site before they leave? It's like how long does someone stay in the store before they decide to leave? So for Digital Ruby, these metrics are pretty good. Now some of these visits are my own visits and my brother's visits. But as you can see, first doing a website, after a month you can expect 2 to 5 visitors a day roughly. And probably 1 or 2 of those are going to be your own visits. I'm sorry to say, but you're not just going to create a website and it's going to be like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Sorry, and it doesn't work that way. Otherwise your drunk cousin-in-law could build a website about anything and become a millionaire and have hundreds of thousands of visitors. So I'm proof that that doesn't happen. Sorry to burst your bubble, but that's just the way it is. That's the truth. That's reality. Until I see some person just throw up a website without much thought into it and become a millionaire, I'm sticking to this belief. Now notice I have this weird jump here. Today, the day I'm doing this video, where I got Digital Ruby got 85 visits. And all those visits are direct URL visits to digitalruby.com. I wasn't found through a search engine or anything. So I don't understand. But sometimes you see blips like this, and sometimes you understand them, sometimes you don't. I'm going to show you one in just another minute where I do understand the blip. But there you go. This is the state of Digital Ruby, the business, the website. It's not making us any money. And I've spent, 15 hours on it so far writing articles. That's the way it is. Whenever you first make a website, you're going to invest probably 100+ hours to get the website up. And if you're not willing to invest that time, then definitely if you have a website business, it's not for you. So this is how the Digital Ruby website is doing. So how is your business doing? Well, here's one way to tell how my business is doing. How's your business doing? If you have a website especially, what is your bounce rate? How close to 0 is it? What's your average time on the site? How close to many hours of time is it? Now I know this is only 4 minutes, but you want to make that as long as possible and this as low as possible. These are the 2 metrics I care about. Metrics meaning the 2 values I care about, and generally because I have not perfected them yet. I'm usually pretty bad with them. Here's the next website. This is blog.drgerm.com. This was a blog I made for a static website. that I started many, many years ago, and I actually stopped writing on this blog, I don't know, somewhere around here, and a lot of this search engine traffic started, and it started to get a lot of visits. Unfortunately, a lot of these visits were using alt tags in images for words like chameleon and chess piece and various other things, and apparently there weren't a lot of images that were alt tagged for them, and so I started to get a lot of traffic for them. But now the traffic has really tapered off. I get about 25 visits a day roughly for this blog that's retired and just kind of sitting out there. And it's 3 years old. So if you just let a site rot out there, your traffic's going to degrade and you're not going to get much over time. So how's blog.drgerm.com doing? It's all but dead, sorry to say. Here's my personal website, JeremyNoelJohnson.com. Started back in 2010 when I had some back surgery. Again, 5 visits a day, 1 visit a day, 8 visits a day. You don't get much traffic when you start. You don't get many visits to your website. Now let me go back to blog.drgerm. Yeah, 28 seconds on the site, about a 73 bounce rate. Not very good metrics. JeremyNoelJohnson.com. To this day, I haven't found a real compelling, narrowed down niche theme for my personal website, and I may never find that. It's kind of more my journaling of how I'm doing things in my life and what I'm learning and experiencing, and it's more of a journal I'm leaving for my family than anything. But so its metrics here aren't very good either. I think if you're not getting 10 minutes a visitor on the site and your bounce rate's 50% or less, then your site is less and less valuable, unless your site's meant to have visitors visit once and then leave with advertising or something. But so not Dr. Germ, this is JeremyNoelJohnson.com, and I got a lot of traffic again for images. This 100, 200, 250 visits a day was for Mark Zuckerberg. I put an image of Mark Zuckerberg because I wrote an article about seeing him speak, put it in an alt tag, and all of a sudden I'm getting traffic for him. But now the traffic is again normalized. I think Google wised up, and I'm getting about 100 visits a day on it after 2 years. That's with no real theme whatsoever. It's like just write about what comes to my mind. The last site I'm going to show you is drgerm.com. I made this website to help people who are struggling in life. It's like the only website I have where there's almost a niche theme, where there's almost a reason for people to come. It's still pretty broad and vague. drgerm.com, I talk about things like positive energy and positive self-talk. There's no real specific problem solving going on, but it's still the most specific site I've made. And I started it around May of 2008. Had a nice spike here, and that's because Oprah Winfrey aired an episode about Yvette Cade, Y-V-E-T-T-E, first name Cade, C-A-Y-D-E. She's a girl who got abused by her boyfriend, and she actually got doused with gasoline and set on fire by her boyfriend, and she went on Oprah to tell her story. Very, very heart-wrenching story to hear about, and so I was touched, and I wrote an article about it, and apparently a lot of people were searching for her that day, and because I wrote an article on my blog, which is now retired, but I wrote an article on that blog.drgerm.com website. Got a lot of traffic, but of course people stopped searching for it. And I spent most of the time getting 10, 15 visitors a day. Had a nice jump toward the beginning of the year in 2009, a year later, getting 60 visitors a day. And that's without not adding much content. I spent the next few months after I released Dr. Germ writing on my blog, but not really doing much on my static website. And this is my static drgerm.com website you're looking at. And so the year 2009, it was 30 to 60 visits a day. And then at the end of the year, there's always this big drop at the end of the year because I think people are getting wasted. But who knows. 2010 was the 70 to sometimes 100 visitors a day, and with a few lows like 50 and 40. And then 2010, I'm getting 80 to 100 a day, and then 2011, 130, 150, 160. And towards the end of 2011, 241. So I'm cracking, look, there I'm cracking 250 visitors a day. And then towards the end of the year, people are getting drunk and wasted and traffic goes down. So what I've learned how my business is doing is at the end of the year, it doesn't get a lot of business. People are just not out doing stuff, and the trend is pretty, pretty steady. There's a dip, there's a dip, and there's a dip. So don't expect to get a ton out of your business at the end of the year. At least for my websites, that's how they behave. And now at the beginning of the year, traffic's going up again. Now, if it follows suit, that's a big if, and so I'm revisiting this site, and I changed the layout recently and adding some more content to it. If it follows suit, like last year saw a 100% increase in traffic to the end of the year. So how is my business going to do by the end of 2012? Well, if I'm lucky, 300 to 400 visitors a day. That'd be nice. That sure would be nice. I'm going to probably have to add some pages and do some videos to make that happen. But boy, that sure would be nice if that happened. According to this trend, I'm headed that way, but who knows where it's going to go. So how is your business doing? What's your bounce rate? What's your average time on site? These are absolutely important questions to ask. I'm here to show you that I'm proof that I don't have a good bounce rate and I don't have a good average time on my site. And that's because I have not mastered the art of making a site that specifically solves problems. But actually, I'm going to show you a site that does that now. So let's go visit that now. p90xfamily.blogspot.com. This is going to be pretty interesting. My wife did this pretty much, this site. And the main thing on this site are these grocery lists for P90X that she made. We did the P90X workout program back in 2009, and both got really fit, and there's a meal plan with it, and my wife didn't like the way the meal plan was laid out, so she made these grocery lists and posted them online. And after the first year of the site, we didn't see much, but then all of a sudden people are starting to search for P90X grocery list. And holy crap, we're getting 300 plus visitors a day, and it's all towards the beginning of the new year, and we think it's because of the New Year's resolutions. This is definitely a New Year's resolution site. As the new year starts and traffic goes down. As the new year starts, 440 visits, traffic goes down. As this new year started, man, we busted almost 500 visitors a day. The New Year's resolutions go away. However, the bounce rate is near 50%. That means people are finding our P90X grocery list, and many are commenting on our blog. This is a p90xfamily.blogspot.com URL, and they're saying, wow, your grocery list really helped me because I was trying to figure it out and I couldn't, so I went online and found your stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And people are staying on our site because we solved a specific problem. Actually, my wife did. She's a smart one in our couple, but so this is a site that's not doing too bad, and it's probably the most lucrative site that I own right now, and it makes maybe $1 or $2 a day, especially at the beginning of the year, and then it kind of goes down, as you can see. Very amusing traffic pattern, for sure. So that's the state of how my business is doing. How's your doing? How's your business doing? What's your bounce rate? What's your average time on site? Do you have on your website something specific that solves a problem for someone better than anything out there? Now, I don't know the magic formula for that. My wife seems to, because she's did it with this site. I don't know beyond just to do your research and try, put your website out there, put some analytics on it, and start tracking. But focus on solving problems for people in your specific area. Whatever you're really good at, that's probably a good place for you to start solving problems for people. And then do a how is your business doing question, and go through your analytics and take a look and keep trying to improve them. And it's fun. I like doing it. It gives me something to challenge myself with and shoot for. And hopefully over time, this will just keep getting better and better, and I'll keep doing better and better with my niche websites. So thank you for listening to this, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.